We have some breaking news here on the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. According to Adam Schefter, Jimmy Garoppolo going to undergo shoulder surgery. We'll break that down here in just a few moments. But first, want to give a shout out to today's presenting sponsor, Manscaped, for making today's breaking news show possible. Go to manscaped.com/49ers, enter the promo code 49ers for 20% off and free shipping on the most elite men's grooming products, including the brand new Ultra Premium package. Several products available for $39.99. We'll tell you more about Manscaped's Ultra Premium package coming up here in just a few moments. That link available in the comments section as well as the description of this video. Time to break down this Jimmy Garoppolo injury. We knew that he was beaten up and battered throughout the regular season as well as in the playoffs. He had that thumb injury, he had the shoulder injury as well, and according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Jimmy Garoppolo is soon going to undergo surgery on his throwing shoulder, which I believe is going to impact his trade value because he's a quarterback and this is on his throwing side. Adam Schefter broke the news just moments ago on Twitter saying this: 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is expected to soon undergo shoulder surgery that would sideline him until this summer, sources tell ESPN. It is not expected to impact his trade status. And the other bit of important news here, Garoppolo is still likely to be traded this month, per sources. That's somewhat notable because it was last week when Adam Schefter said it's, quote, not a lock that Garoppolo gets dealt this offseason. More news from Adam Schefter on Garoppolo. Garoppolo injured his shoulder during the wild card win over Dallas, per sources. He does not need thumb surgery for another injury he also played through. Surgery is expected to happen shortly. There is significant interest in Garoppolo from multiple teams, per sources. He also said this: preliminary estimates are that Garoppolo is expected to resume throwing sometime prior to July 4th. If and when a trade is consummated, Garoppolo would be available to begin working with the new coaching and medical staff. You can say whatever you want about Jimmy G. Yes, he's somewhat limited, and yes, he came up short against the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship game. And when the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl back in 2019, they did so with a heavy running approach in Kyle Shanahan's offense. And yes, Jimmy Garoppolo has been injury-prone over time, but Jimmy G is so tough. For him to battle through both of these injuries, the thumb as well as the shoulder, to help power the Niners to the NFC Championship game. He beat and came back from 17-0 against Matthew Stafford in Week 18 to get into the playoffs. He outplayed Dak Prescott in the wild card round on the road. And then in the divisional round, he outplayed Aaron Rodgers down the stretch. So I know there are Jimmy G detractors out there, and a lot of people like to hate on him. And yes, from a statistical perspective, he didn't blow you away with a lot of his numbers, but as a leader and face of this football team, you really have to admire and respect what he did in that regard and him playing through these injuries. Now, this is why you subscribe to the 49ers Report by Chat Sports, because when breaking news happens, we push out a video within the hour. Today, we decided to go live. We also bring you 49ers insight, analysis, latest news and rumors, and during free agency, which is going to kick off in less than a month, and during the NFL draft, we have you covered better than anybody else. So hit that red subscribe button down below, and let's get to 60,000 subs as soon as possible. Now, what's crazy about this injury is that Jimmy G injured the shoulder against the Dallas Cowboys because he was trying to shield the thumb that he had suffered against the Tennessee Titans by tucking his arm in, and that's what then led to him kind of getting pile-drived onto the turf at AT&T Stadium, which then led to the shoulder injury, which now he has to get shoulder surgery on. And in the first half of that game against Dallas, Garoppolo was really good, completing his passes. He was very accurate, but then in the second half of that game, he really struggled because of the combination of both of these injuries. Now, he ended that game going 16-25, 172 yards, no touchdowns, and that one pick that almost paved the way for Dallas to come back in that game, but the injuries really did affect him in that second half, and it all happened, the shoulder injury, because he tried to protect that thumb injury. What does this mean for the 49ers moving forward into the offseason, for Jimmy Garoppolo's trade value, and what the Niners can get back for him? This is absolutely brutal timing because you have to think, even though Adam Schefter said what he said, this is going to impact his trade value at least a little bit. And at the very least, this is going to give other teams leverage. They're going to have negotiations with San Francisco and say, well, hold on here. We're talking about a quarterback who's injury prone. Yes, he's won a lot of games. Yes, he's made it to 2 NFC title games in the span of 3 years. And in the 2-minute drill and at the end of games this year, he was terrific. And people rave about him being a leader, but he's injury prone and he's getting offseason shoulder surgery on his throwing arm. Plus, what's good with the thumb? So it's been my belief all along that the Niners can get back a second-round pick and maybe a player for Garoppolo. Maybe the Niners now have to settle for a third-round pick plus a player for Jimmy G, which really isn't all that bad at the end of the day. We'll look at some of the other potentially available quarterbacks on the open market this offseason coming up here in just a few moments. But first, do you think this impacts Jimmy G's trade value? Adam Schefter said it's not going to. I think it does. Type Y for yes, type N for no. You let me know in the comment section right now. As I mentioned off the top, today's show presented to you by our friends at Manscaped and their brand new Ultra Premium package. All of these products, elite, just like some of the top quarterbacks who are set to hit the open market, just like Jimmy Garoppolo was at points during this past year. All of these products available right now for $39.99 only if you go to manscaped.com/49ers and enter the promo code 49ers. We're talking deodorant, we're talking chapstick, body spray, body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. If you're interested in the Lawnmower 4.0, you can also find that by going to manscaped.com/49ers. Let's take a look at the body spray here. Producer Jeremy Chuggs, we really had to hustle to get live here on the 49ers Report. He started to sweat a little bit. And I'm like, dude, you come into the studio smelling like that? So I just had to spray him a little bit and say, yo, chill with it. You're stinky. Here's some Manscaped body spray for you to be smelling good for your girl once you go home. If you want to be like Jeremy Chuggs and yours truly, head to manscaped.com/49ers. Enter the promo code 49ers for 20% off and free shipping on the most elite men's grooming products. That link available in the comment section as well as the description of this video. Now you take a look at what Garoppolo did this past year in 2021, and for other teams canvassing the landscape if they're interested in a Jimmy G trade. Completed around 68% of his passes, which is really good. His yards per completion and yards per attempt numbers were among some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He threw for nearly 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 12 picks. He's never been a masterful touchdown to interception ratio type of guy. It's really the intangibles that he brings to the table. Now, Garoppolo, according to Adam Schefter, who said last week is not a lock to be traded. Now he's saying he's probably going to be traded this month, is going to be competing with other potentially available quarterbacks on the open market. We broke these down into tiers. These are elite quarterbacks who could be available. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, as well as Matt Ryan, who has started to enter the fold as elite quarterbacks who could be open via trade. Now, Bruce Arians at the NFL Combine said that Tom Brady has officially shut the door, he's officially retired, and that they would never trade Tom Brady away because it's bad business. And Bruce Arians also said, we want 5, count them 5 first-round picks for the 7-time Super Bowl champion. Brian Gutekunst, the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, providing an update on Aaron Rodgers, saying there is no new update. And those close to Deshaun Watson think that at some point this year, he is going to play for another team in 2022. You go from some of the elite quarterbacks to the second-tier quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo, in my opinion, leads this list. All of the Jimmy G haters will say he has no trade value. There's no way he's going to get dealt. I think he gets dealt, and I think the Niners get back some draft compensation that they lost last year by moving up to take Trey Lance at number 3. So of these second-tier quarterbacks, Garoppolo is number 1 for me. And then after that, a couple of guys who they have their value damaged right now. Carson Wentz, folded down the stretch. Jameis Winston coming off a torn ACL. He's running on a non-weight-bearing treadmill. Teddy Bridgewater is a serviceable backup, in my opinion, and spot starter. And Mitchell Trubisky, formerly of the Chicago Bears and Buffalo Bills, starting to get more and more buzz as a potential starter going into 2022. But if you're a team out there ready to win right now, and there are a bunch of quarterback-needy teams, which quarterback do you want on this list? I think Jimmy Garoppolo might be number 1 in my eyes. You also pair this up and those facts up with the fact that some of the available draft options in this year's quarterback class are somewhat weak and somewhat unproven. These are my top 5 quarterbacks in the 2022 class. Malik Willis has ability unlike any other quarterback here in this upcoming draft because he has stupid arm strength, great athleticism. He just isn't really pro-ready because of Hugh Freeze's system at Liberty. But if you get him with a good coaching staff, he can really light the league on fire. I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I think he kind of had a season this year like Joe Burrow's last at LSU, but the hand size really concerns me, especially if he goes to a cold weather climate like Pittsburgh. Matt Corral, he has a bazooka and a rifle for an arm, but Lane Kiffin's offense, a lot of those reads are really just predetermined. And then Carson Strong out of Nevada and Sam Howell out of UNC, the 4th and 5th options for me as the top quarterback prospects in this year's class. How about what The Athletic had to say about the offseason quarterback market? And Jimmy Garoppolo factors into this discussion. The Washington Commanders have already inquired about every quarterback who might be available, according to a source. The early digging is a sign that they plan to be aggressive in an attempt to upgrade the position. The Colts, Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers, and Steelers also figure to be diligent, according to sources. So that right there, folks, is 6 teams who are in need of a quarterback. Some of those teams, and a majority of them, are ready to win right now. So they're not going to move forward with a journeyman quarterback. They're not going to start next year one of these rookie quarterbacks who's raw and unproven. That's why I think Jimmy Garoppolo can net something pretty valuable back for San Francisco. And with the NFL Combine getting underway this week in Indianapolis, the quarterback trade talks are set to heat up. Now, I sent out this tweet a little bit earlier with what's going on the quarterback front on my Twitter page at Chase_Senior. These are some of the quarterback notes from the NFL Combine. Dak Prescott undergoing left shoulder surgery. Jimmy Garoppolo, right shoulder surgery. The Colts are not committed to Carson Wentz moving forward, according to general manager Chris Ballard. Bruce Arians wants 5 first-round picks back for Tom Brady if they do deal him. There's no new update on Aaron Rodgers, and Mitchell Trubisky is starting to get starter buzz. And as I talked about a little while ago, those close to Deshaun Watson believe that he is going to play for another team in 2022, and if he does, that changes the quarterback market. So too does the potential availability of an Aaron Rodgers or maybe a Russell Wilson. So this situation on the quarterback front is very, very fluid, and that's why I think this injury does impact Jimmy Garoppolo's trade value at least a little bit. Will Jimmy G get traded this offseason? Look into your crystal ball and predict it, faithful. Let me know what you think. Type T for trade, P for pass, get those votes in, and thanks so much for watching today's breaking news show.